Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I'll be discussing what I thought of the latest episode of AMC's The Walking Dead, which premiered earlier tonight. Just got done watching it. Very good episode. Before I start talking too much and I keep going on and on about it, please be warned that this is a spoiler-filled episode review. Again, this is a spoiler-filled review. If you are not caught up on The Walking Dead by this episode or the past couple episodes, do not keep watching or listening, as I will be going into giant, juicy spoilers. So, you have been warned. Spoilers from here on out starting now. Great episode. Really, really great episode. Very, very enjoyable. I enjoyed it for a number of reasons. Number one, it showed a couple of different individual groups. It's like there were multiple stories going on, and a few of them could have intersected with each other. One of them did. And then there's also awesome character moments. And this episode was just a beautiful reminder that despite of this war going on between the Allies and the Saviors, there's still lots of internal conflict. Tara is still very much hateful towards Dwight for very justifiable reasons. He murdered her girlfriend, and Tara doesn't clearly like him or trust him and wants to see him dead. And in the meantime, they're trying to get the populace, the remaining populace of Alexandria to Hilltop, and she wants to go ahead and execute Dwight right in the middle of the woods. And it's just one of those things where it's like, really, this is your focus right now? You're worried about this one guy when you're trying to get everybody to safety? That's what you're focused on? And that's why Daryl blew up at her, because even Daryl doesn't like Dwight for all the right reasons, but at least Daryl is putting his feelings aside at the moment because he's focusing on the bigger picture, which is getting his people to safety and then continuing the fight to win the war. And then they can worry about Dwight. But this was a great Dwight episode. Oh, I loved it. I loved how he was apologetic to Tara, how she threw the walker at him, and how she was, she was kind of a bitch to him, but for the right reasons. And it's just, it was just great. It was just great tension to watch on screen because you have these characters who clearly mistrust each other, or at least they mistrust Dwight. And, it almost came to a boiling point at one moment. We thought Tara was going to execute Dwight once or twice, but then he ended up proving himself again to Tara by leading the Saviors away, by telling them a lie, saying that there was nothing in the swamps but dead people. But then, ironically, despite proving himself to Tara, and Tara actually telling Daryl after he's done yelling at her that, yeah, he saved us, Daryl then flips out and says that he's going to kill him as soon as he sees him again. So it's like, crap, now Dwight has to prove himself to Daryl right after proving himself to Tara. That's great. But this was such a good episode because it showed our characters on little mini journeys. Gabriel and Dr. Carson trying to get to the hilltop. And, Gabriel's faith being absolutely untested, unbroken, showing hope in the face of adversity, and then getting on his hands and knees and crawling through the grass, knowing there are bear traps nearby. Ow, and damn, that's ballsy. And it also explained why we saw that one walker crawling towards the car with the bear trap up its leg. That was a pretty scary scene, but also pretty cool. There are some nasty, gross-ass walkers in tonight's episode, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I loved watching Daryl and Sadiq and Rosita take down the walkers one by one as they just, sludge through the swamps, and the walkers have clearly adapted to their environment, and they've got moss and vegetation growing off of them, and they're probably super smelly, and they're just hideous, hideous creatures to behold. And yet they have to go through a whole bunch of them just to get to safety on the other side. Oh man, that was great. I really enjoyed that whole sequence. So them clearing the path for their allies, and then just the sheer grotesque nature of the walkers in tonight's episode were so nasty. The ones that got stuck in the bear traps and the ones in the swamp. Just, oh man. Like I said, this episode was a great example of character conflict within a bigger conflict, the bigger conflict being the war. And now what's exciting about this episode is now that Alexandria has finally made it to Hilltop, all they've got to do is wait for Rick and Michonne, and based on the promos, it looks like they're going to be there next week. Now that once Rick and Michonne get back, the remaining allies have finally reunited, and then they can carry out the next phase of their plan. Now the question is the original plan still in play? They've suffered a number of casualties. They've lost almost the entire Kingdom Army, and now the Heapsters are all dead as well, with the exception of Jadis. Granted, a lot of saviors are dead too, but the question is like, is the original plan still in play, or are they going to have to change it? I think we're going to have to wait till next week to get those answers. But I was just pleased to see all of the remaining allies converge onto one location, because we saw Carol, Morgan, and Henry were there at the hilltop, so which means Ezekiel was nearby. And that was another great little mini story. I loved how Morgan is encouraging this kid to be a soldier and to face down his enemies, and that Henry is developing kind of a dangerous but necessary attitude for this world. But at the same time, he is just a boy. So Morgan lying to him, saying that, hey, you already killed the guy who killed your brother. It was Gavin. Lying to him. Now the question is, will Henry discover the truth, or will that prick Jared rub it in his face and say, hey kid, your friend's lying to you. He didn't kill your brother. I did. And then Henry kills him. That'd actually be very satisfying to watch. It would be a very fitting death that Jared would die at the hands of the younger brother of the boy he killed. And that was a good side story too. It's like Carol's trying to protect Henry while Morgan's kind of encouraging him, but also at the same time trying to protect him because he is just a boy after all. And then, of course, we finally got to saw Eugene go to work in that bullet factory that he and Abraham discovered 2 seasons ago, back in season 6. Unfortunately, the circumstances are not what I was hoping for when Eugene would finally start making bullets, but it is kind of cool to see him making bullets again, even if it's for the wrong side. Now, I am curious about what Negan has planned regarding using walkers to hurt or neutralize the allies. Like, you know, he had that hilarious line, he said, I'm paraphrasing, but the line was, a rose has sprouted from this pile of shit. And I think he was trying to say, I've got an idea after listening to you talk. And after his pitch to his men, I wonder, what exactly do they have planned? Are they going to use walker blood or walker bacteria somehow to hurt or infect or numb their enemies or something? It'll be very interesting to see, and it'll be interesting to see how damaging it is to our heroes, so we shall see. But a great episode tonight. This episode I felt like was all about our groups rejoining, and then it was riddled with character conflict, with mistrust. Great spotlight time for Dwight, one of my new favorite characters. I love that he got a chance to prove himself once again. I love the arc that he has been on since season 7, or at the end of season 7. I love that he's become the inside man for Rick and his allies. I love that he has this conflict with Tara, with Tara and Daryl. And it's all good stuff. So this episode was a great reminder of what makes this show so good, and that there's just so much more to come with the rest of this season and season 9. Well, guys, what did you think of tonight's episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you like it? Or is there anything that surprised you? Please feel free to sound off down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from everybody regarding your thoughts on tonight's episode. You may disagree with one another, of course. We are all entitled to our own opinions and beliefs, which is fine. Just please keep it civil and be respectful of one another's beliefs and opinions. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more Walking Dead review videos and other great content. The Walking Dead airs new episodes every Sunday on AMC. Check your local listings for times. Have a great rest of the night, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.